Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Modern Horizons 2 draft. Now, we've got Chainer, who is pretty insane in the Madness deck. So I think I'm going to go with that. Marsh Flat's only worth a couple of tickets, not worth taking for value. So, Chainer it is. Rakdos Headliner is an uncommon for that deck, so we will be taking that, I think. Nothing else in this pack. I mean, Guiltblade Prowler you can generally get some of, and like if we can get like 2 or 3 of these guys, they'll be great, but not there yet. And Faithless Salvaging is a common, and I saw one in my opening pack, so hopefully one of those comes around. Not necessarily, though. Vindicate, Prismatic Ending. Man. If I'm splashing for one of those cards, I think it's probably Prismatic Ending. Because, like, the only other card in this pack for us is Curator, I think. And if I'm splashing a third color, Prismatic Ending... well, I guess Prismatic Ending does not hit more things. Alright, we'll take the Vindicate. Alright, well, if I'm going 3 color, Kaleidoscorch is actually quite good. Breathless Knight is also crazy good with Chainer. But Breathless Knight is a common. Let's take Kaleidoscorch. There's a Breathless Knight. Blacksmith Skill is not a bad card at all. World Weary for the basic land cycling would not be bad. I'm going to take the Breathless Knight. Okay, well I can't take Breathless Knight over number 3 over... Or Breathless Light... oh my goodness, I can't talk. Breathless Knight number 3 in this pack over Kitchen Imp, especially when we're probably playing the Madness deck first and foremost and splashing white secondarily. So Kitchen Imp it is. I think this card is actually the card that makes the Madness decks work. The 1 mana 2/2 with haste just seems better than a lot of the other stuff you can be doing. So Fairgrounds Patrol, not bad. We can buy it back from the grave. We are intending on splashing white. Revolutionist can buy back Vindicate, and that just seems good. So I'm going to take Revolutionist. Alright, I mean, Diamond Lion is a 2 mana 2/2. It discards, right? But I think the Manticore is very clearly what we should be taking for the Madness deck. Tyzerus Charger wouldn't be bad, but I think Manticore is a higher priority pickup. We are on the lookout for any Rustvale bridges, Drossforge bridges. We are going to need help with this mana base. Or we're just going to need to top deck basics like a god. Probably not playing a Mistvault Bridge for any reason. Break the Ice is unplayable and limited, and I'm not playing a blue card, so we'll take the Canticle. This can be a great sideboard card versus slower decks, and I would play it as, like, playable number 23 if I needed to. Alright, there's a Guiltblade Prowler. No on-color duels. Honestly, kind of want the Scrappling. If we're going to play aggressive... Having this early is not bad. Alternatively, we can play a 3 mana 3/2 with Vigilance. I'm going to take the Scrappling. Something's telling me to take the Scrappling there. Curator, not a bad pickup. I'm not playing any of these cards. Break the Ice in the sideboard. Red off-color duel. Dihada's Ploy in the side. Alright, well, we got 11 good playables out of pack number 1. Alright, pack 2, there is... Let's see, no fixing. Cabal Initiate for a discard outlet. Batterbone, or, I mean, there's Sphelium, which I don't think is worth anything. Or, you know what, I'm not going to make another attempt to pronounce that. Yeah, it's not worth anything, so I think we take either Batterbone or we take Cabal Initiate here. I'm gonna go with Batterbone, just to help kind of take the pressure off of our mana colors a little bit. Okay, really sad to pass on color fixing for Rootwalla and the Imp, but I think we gotta take the Rootwalla. The Madness for 0 effect, when we don't have any, is pretty huge. Hopefully between Imp, Bridge, and Reaver, something comes around for us. But, I mean, if not, then I guess then, you know, yeah. So I don't know if the noises are getting picked up on my microphone, but the cat, Porter, is like sleeping on the basement landing, like where the steps curve to make a 180. And the cat is really pissed off because he won't move, but Porter's like not even facing the cat. I don't even think he's acknowledging its existence. I don't think he cares. He's sleeping, but the cat doesn't want to like disturb him. Now, they've never had a bad interaction or anything like that. They just kind of like stay as far away from each other as possible. You know, Porter gives the cat plenty of room, never ever presses his luck or anything like that. But the cat doesn't know how to interact with him at all either, other than to be like, get out of my way. But he won't ever call his bluff. It's so funny. Anyway, so we can take Terminal Agony or we can take Kitchen Imp. Terminal Agony would be great removal. We already have Kaleidoscorch and Vindicate, but there's a Revolutionist, a Clattering Augur, and an Imp. I'll take Terminal Agony because I think this will signal less that Madness might be open, and I wouldn't mind the extra removal anyway. Okay, so our picks in this pack are Goldmire Bridge, Flametongue Yearling, Revolutionist, Mind Collapse. I really want to take that bridge, but I may actually end up not splashing white, depending on what happens in these next few picks. I'm going to take the Yearling, because if we're much heavier red, having the Enter the Battlefield effect on an aggressive creature is going to be better. So, take the Yearling. Unholy Heat, gotta take it. It's incredible removal, super strong. Also tells me that red is open. I would not mind a Clattering Augur, but I've got to take the fixing. Absolutely got to take the fixing. Okay, so there's a Harmonic Prodigy. Do we have any wizards? Human Minion, Rogue. We don't have any wizard. Oh, we have Revolutionist, actually. So Prodigy and Revolutionist fit together quite well, and this is a very aggressive creature, and this is shaping up to be quite the aggressive deck. Our colors seem to be open, and this is our primary color of red, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the Imp over the fixing first, because if we get enough Imps, we may not need fixing. Oh, man. The cat finally got fed up with the fact that Porter wouldn't move and just took a flying leap over him. And he's like, all right. I would not mind a Scophos Reaver, but we'll take the Imp. The Imp being available that's good news. Patchwork Gnomes or Faithless Salvaging. Salvaging has some potential for some pretty interesting plays. I'm going to take the Gnomes, though, because the Gnomes, once again, going to be easy on our mana base. They're a great discard outlet for the Imp. Yeah, we're going to take the Gnomes. Oh, man, the Imp came around. Definitely Imp. I think we take the Augur. The extra card draw is going to be great. If we can get a Vermin Gorger, in addition, that would be awesome. Flame Rift for Reach would be fine, but I think we're going to have enough playables without Flame Rift. The fact that Flame Rift doesn't damage the board and is super bad if you're not playing hyper-aggressive, I guess I would probably play a Fairgrounds Patrol over an Anarchomancer, but I'm not going to be playing like any of those. Dihada's Ploy would be the most playable for us. Put a Karth the Lion in the sideboard. All right, fixing land, final pick. Let's go. Goldmire Bridge. I think that was actually in last pack if we were going to get it. Or the pack before, maybe. Ghostlit Drifter, put in the side. Final pack. We already have like a deck. This is playable. Another Kaleidoscorch, Ripley Vance, or Terminal Agony. I have no free spells, otherwise Ripley Vance would be amazing. Goldmire Bridge would also be amazing. Terminal Agony is good, but I'm going to take Kaleidoscorch because Kaleidoscorch is at its best 2 removal spells, and Terminal Agony is only 1. Terminal Agony can be cast off of discard, but Kaleidoscorch can also be cast with flashback. And even if I'm only playing 1 Rustvale Bridge, this is still playable. It can also go to face, which is huge. Foundry Helix would not be a bad wheel. Neither would Scophos Reaver. We have enough creatures. I'm going to take the fixing, because I have to take the fixing at this point. We have enough playable spells. And we are going to be 3 color, I think, because of the 2 Kaleidoscorches. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll take a Terminal Agony here, I think. I'm hoping that a Reaver comes around. Actually, how many discard outlets do I have? I have 1 discard off of Headliner. I have no 2-mana discard outlets. I have Patchwork Gnomes, Kitchen Imps, the Manticore, and Chainer. I actually really need this Cabal Initiate. Otherwise, there's a big risk that I will not have enough Madness enablers. I'll only have Madness payoffs. And that would be a huge, huge problem to have. Karmic Guide, Fast and Furious. I'd really like to take Tragic Fall, but we have like 5 good removal spells at this point. I think we just take the Headliner and then just see what wheels. Headliner also Madness Enabler. Was just complaining about not having enough of those. I do really like Persist. If we can ditch like Curator, getting it early off of Persist is pretty good. Just buying back our best creature might be great. The fact that the majority of our creatures are small makes this card less good. But like if we could get back a Manticore and then, get a discard, or we could get back a Chainer, potentially this is good. Are there options like Late to Dinner or Gouged Zealot? Neither of which I'm particularly thrilled about. I'm going to take the Persist. I may not end up playing it, though. I think I gotta take World Weary. I'm probably not playing it. I have enough creatures. Spreading Insurrection, I don't have a way to, like, storm up to. Yeah. Having one World Weary can be good. Legion Vanguard's a sack outlet, which matters for a few things. It's good with Clattering Augur, of course. And it's just a 2-mana 2/2, which helps us be aggressive. So I'm going to take it. Another Cabal Initiate. Definitely playing that over Discerning Taste or Galvanic Relay. Basically everything in this pack. Really hoping that Goldmire Bridge comes around, because if it does, our mana is going to be super easy. We'd have a lot of tap lands for an aggressive deck, but hopefully that would be okay. Feast of Sanity, I don't think is for the Madness deck itself. I think this is really a payoff for the blue-black self-discard deck. I think I take a Guiltblade Prowler here. Just having more creatures and stuff in different combinations helps make the deck building a little bit easier in terms of like what we can actually pick to set up. Okay, this was our opening pack, so the Goldmire Bridge did not come around. I don't have any sack outlets, so I don't think I'm taking the Shambler. Unfortunately, we did not get a Vermin Gorger for Reach. I'll put another Canticle in the sideboard, I guess. So we can either take a Revolutionist or we can take a Greed. I don't think we need Greed. I think Revolutionist is better for us, because we have some pretty powerful instants and sorceries. Plus Persist Revolutionist is kind of a hilarious combo. Persist Revolutionist Harmonic Prodigy is actually get back Persist, get back removal spell every time, which seems pretty good. Like, unfortunately, we don't have a Bone Shards to like complete the combo, right? But obviously I'll take the only card in this pack that we could reasonably cast. I could play this off-color Slagwood's Bridge as a additional power-up for Kaleidoscorch, but I would not be doing that for Razortide Bridge. The only reason I brought that up is like it could help me splash a Crack Open or something. Why did it take Crack Open? That's not what I picked. Alright, well, an Archomancer in the sideboard, Gouged Zealot is fine, and a Dreadmaw we're not playing. Alright, so we have 2 artifact duels. I'm going to count Batterbone as a creature. So, don't think I'm playing World Weary. I could just cut the Breathless Knight and the Vindicate. Breathless Knight really only synergizes with Chainer and Persist, which might be decent enough. I have no instants to help turn on Unholy Heat, and I have no enchantments. That means I have Artifact, Creature, Land, Sorcery. I have 1 instant. Now, to be fair, I have a lot of those things, and I'm a discard deck, so like getting those things into the grave should not be difficult. But I only have 3 artifacts if you're not counting the lands, which could be bad. Clattering Augur does synergize with Harmonic Prodigy, so I think that stays. I need the discard outlets. The Flame Tongue is going to be super good. So I think we discard, or I think we remove Prowler. I think we can take the Knight out and probably bring it in versus aggressive decks, if we for some reason decide we need the lifelink and Batterbone's not getting the job done. Delirium's going to be kind of difficult, so Unholy Heat is going to be a shock the majority of the time. And I think that means I get rid of Gouged Zealot. Loathsome Curator, while it is a big creature, it's really high up on the curve. Scrappling, if I'm not going to focus on Delirium, I only have 4 artifacts in the deck, and if I just give up on Delirium entirely, I can give up on Scrappling. I didn't pick up the Singleton Abiding Grace, and so I think that's fine. Like, our 1-drops are hopefully going to be Kitchen Imps, but they're not obviously going to come down on turn 1. And then I really only need to cut 1 card. Hopefully Kitchen Imp costs 1, and Revolutionist costs 4, so hopefully our curve actually looks something like this. And in reality, those would probably sit here, because the earliest they would come down is like 2 or 3. Man, what is my worst card in this deck? It could be a second Revolutionist. 2 might be a little bit ambitious, but we have no card advantage otherwise, other than the fact that we're leveraging, we're not discarding, we're madnessing, basically. And maybe that's enough, but I mean, maybe it's Legion Vanguard. Like, Legion Vanguard's really only good if we have Clattering Augur. But I think we have a deck. Question is, do I want to play this as a tap land for Kaleidoscorch? Am I okay with Kaleidoscorch topping out at 3 when it's flashbacked? And I think the answer is yes. And I think that describes most decks I've played with it. Why is... Oh, I must have accidentally put Breathless Knight in the deck. This wants 1 more mountain, then swamp. which I'm fine with because we only ever have single black when we have 2 double red spells in the deck. What is that? 6 swamps, a Goldmire Bridge for 7 black sources, 7 mountains, and a Rustvale Bridge for 8 red sources. All right. I think we got a deck. We even have some sideboard options, and this looks like a pretty good Madness deck. I'm a little sad that we didn't get like one more fixing land, but at the same time, I think this deck is going to perform just fine. And I'll see you guys in round 1. Alrighty. Welcome to round 1, everybody. I don't actually think I can keep this, unless I draw black mana. I can only play Patchwork Gnomes. I think I have to mulligan that hand. Okay, this hand is way better. Like, not even close to comparison. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put back Batterbone. We are going to lead on Rustvale Bridge. We're going to play both Cabal Initiate and Blazing Rootwalla next turn. We could follow that up with a Vindicate. Alright, we draw Clattering Augur. Play Cabal Initiate, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Swamp. They play a Tide Shaper. So they are going to turn our white land into an island. That is annoying. So Madness the Rootwalla. Cast it. Untap. We draw a mountain. Play a mountain. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Opponent does not block. Pump the Rootwalla. Hit them for 5. Play Clattering Augur. We draw Kaleidoscorch. Well, that's a way to deal with Tide Shaper. Did not think we were going to get into trouble with a Tide Shaper. So opponent plays a Shattered Ego. We draw another Cabal Initiate. Play a mountain. Let's Kaleidoscorch Tide Shaper. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Okay. Play another Cabal Initiate. Pass the turn. Opponent's turn. They play Dihada's Ploy. Drawing and discarding. Probably looking for land. If they miss a land drop, I might Vindicate their Swamp. They discard World Weary. Alright. We draw Revolutionist. Okay, now I'm definitely Vindicating their Swamp. Go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. Opponent's going to block the Cabal Initiate. We'll pump the Rootwalla. Trade, hit them for 4. Stone Rain, pass the turn. And now we can Revolutionist Vindicate. Alright, they get a tap land. We untap. We draw a Swamp. Perfect. Play a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Opponent takes 4 and goes to 7. Pass the turn. They untap. They play an island. They play an Aeromoeba. And I think that's game. So we Revolutionist, Madness, on their end step, pick up a Vindicate, untap, draw a mountain, Vindicate Aeromoeba, then attack for 7. I think we got him with the Stone Rain. Vindicate's a powerful spell. I'm really glad I took it over Prismatic Ending. It's kind of cruel, but, whatever gets the job done, I think. Run it back. I don't think we're making any adjustments here. No white mana, but we do have Rakdos Headliner, Cabal Initiate, and Guiltblade Prowler, so I think we keep. It's a pretty aggressive start. Opponent leads on Swamp and Squirrel. Play a mountain, pass the turn. Opponent plays an island into a Tide Shaper, getting rid of our mountain. That's annoying. I guess land destruction for land destruction's fair, right? Play Cabal Initiate, pass the turn. Okay, opponent untaps. They play a Guiltblade Prowler. They hit us for 1. We untap and draw another Cabal Initiate. Play a Swamp. Play Guiltblade Prowler. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent casts a Dihada's Ploy. So they draw some cards. They're going to discard some cards. They discard a Parcel Mirror and play an island. So then they draw a card off Prowler. We draw Unholy Heat, but cannot cast it because this taps for blue. Let me think here. So we just play a Cabal Initiate and pass. We're going to have to start looting cards away to draw extra cards and try and hit lands. But I also just can't give up on blocks yet. Opponent plays a Specimen Collector, so they get a bunch of tokens. Okay, we're going to ditch Vindicate. Draw a card. It's a Persist. Okay. We draw Blazing Rootwalla. So I could actually persist out the Manticore. And I could start pinging down their X1s. I think I'm going to do that. So ditch the Manticore, persist the Manticore, draw a card, not a land, go to combat, ditch Blazing Rootwalla. We're going to ping down the sack outlet, I think, and Madness in our Rootwalla. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent's turn. They play a Loathsome Curator, so they can use that to get rid of the Manticore if they want. Or no, they can't, because it's CMC 3 or less, right? Right. Mana value. We untap and draw Batterbone. Dang. Still no 2-typed thing to ping down that Tide Shaper. So we're going to play out Batterbone. Get a 1/1. Not ditching anything. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Ghostlit Drifter, so they can start giving creatures flying. That would not be good. They're going to attack with a 5/4. So I think that means we double block with Initiates, because we have the Manticore for a discard outlet. Untap. We draw Chainer. That Tide Shaper was really good. Still can't do anything. I guess we'll get rid of the Headliner and kill Raving Visionary. Pass the turn. I guess we should take out some of these creatures when we can, especially when they're going to provide persistent onboard value. Okay, they play Burdened Aerialist, which gives them a treasure. And they play a second Burdened Aerialist, which gives them another treasure. They attack for 2 in the air, that's reasonable. We take 2. Untap. We finally draw a land. Unfortunately, it doesn't tap for red. However, I think what it means is we are going to go to combat, ditch this 2-typed card to kill Tide Shaper, and unlock our red mana. As bad as that feels, giving up that 4th land, it doesn't actually help us cast anything. We might just be using an Unholy Heat here to kill an Aerialist. Mental Journey. So they give those guys flying and they draw 3 cards. Okay? They play a land. They go to combat. So these guys only have flying when they sack a token. So it's possible I actually Unholy Heat the Drifter here. Yeah, I think that's the case. So we're going to take 6, which is a lot. Untap. We draw Rustvale Bridge. Okay. Play Rustvale Bridge. Go to combat. Discard Terminal Agony. Kill an Aerialist. Madness. Kill the other Aerialist. Pass the turn. If we draw a land, we can suit up the Manticore with Batterbone. If we draw a land, we could also Revolutionist to pick up Unholy Heat, which would kill Specimen Collector, giving them a crab, and then Unholy Heat could kill Guiltblade Prowler. And then we could finally start attacking. Opponent is deep in the tank. I think the only reason I would pick up Unholy Heat is because I can cast it again immediately. It might be better just to get Terminal Agony and set up for another Madness play. If we don't draw a land, we're probably playing Chainer, because then we can start like getting creatures back from the grave. They'll have haste, I'm not sure that matters, but they will. Okay, opponent has an Aeromoeba, plays a land, and a Svelan? I've been pronouncing that wrong, I guarantee. Okay, we drew a land. So whenever it attacks, draw. It seems pretty good. But if I don't, like, it's a 3/4, right? If I don't kill Aeromoeba, we're gonna die to it, because it's just gonna attack us in the air a lot. Okay. So go to combat. And by a lot, I mean they only have to attack twice. Opponent's still really deep in the tank. I'm not sure why. Opponent still waiting on me to pass priority. They haven't, or I'm waiting on my opponent to pass priority. They haven't disconnected, at least as far as the game's concerned. So they're either duo queuing, or they were up all night drafting and have fallen asleep. Because I started this draft last night, and it is now morning. Okay. Ditch Revolutionist. Ping down the 2/1. Madness. We're going to pick up Unholy Heat. Unholy Heat. I could kill the crab and then they get no tokens. But killing the Aeromoeba is 100% the play. Okay. No attacks. Pass the turn. If they attack with a god, we double block to kill it. Okay, they flash back Dihada's ploy, and they're going to get a 2-2 in the air with haste. That is less than ideal for us. So we're going to need to start gaining life. Opponent ditches an island and attacks us for 2 in the air. We untap. We draw a Kitchen Imp. As much as I would like to discard Imp and get it for basically nothing, we have to start attacking with lifelink, or we're going to be in huge trouble. Attack for 4. Okay, opponent takes 4, we gain 4. Pass the turn. We are in trouble the instant our opponent finds removal. That's removal. So opponent's going to go to combat. Attack for 5. They're not attacking with a god? Okay, they are attacking with a god. I was really confused. Okay. Block. We take 2. They shrink the Manticore. We untap. We draw Clattering Augur. So, play Chainer, discard the Augur, cast Blazing Rootwalla. It gains haste, but that doesn't really matter. Pass the turn, we're not ditching anything. So we kind of need to, I was going to say, replay Revolutionist to buy back removal. And I think we've kind of passed the critical point, so we're going to game 3. If I haven't done the math wrong, and that was actually game 3. Okay. No adjustments. Run it back. I think the fact that we got mana screwed for so many turns is what killed us. Tide Shaper turns out to be really good. I would like to play first. So knowing that my opponent is playing Tide Shaper, I'm going to keep this hand, and we're going to lead on swamps, basically. Because red mana is going to be more important to us for 1. And I think other than maybe like a Rakdos Headliner, I wouldn't play this mountain on turn 2. Opponent leads on an island. We draw another swamp. Play a swamp. Play Batterbone. Okay, Living Weapon. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp into a Parcel Mirror. We untap. Draw Blazing Rootwalla. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Opponent is in the tank about blocking. They're still in the tank about blocking. They've got to be duo queuing. Like, I just don't know what else explains the time discrepancy. I don't know why people still do that. Like, I think even if you're really, really good at the game, it's going to split your attention so much that you're going to play worse because of it. Even if you're playing 2 completely unrelated formats or the same format, I don't think it matters. Duo queuing used to make kind of some sense. Because way back before leagues on Moto, what they had was they had tournaments that were run the exact same as paper tournaments, so you had to wait for like round timers and stuff. And you'll see this still on Moto when they run real big tournaments and stuff. But it used to be the only format for tournaments that they had. Opponent blocks, decides against it. All right, pass the turn. And like when you're waiting for round timers and stuff, it was kind of reasonable to be queued in other events and stuff. All right, play a mountain. I can either Terminal Agony, the Tyzerus Charger this turn, or I can cast Chainer and play a Rootwalla. I think it's going to be more important to build the board. That is something that I don't do enough. So pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a Guiltblade Prowler. They go to combat. They attack for 3. Ditch the Rootwalla. Madness. And I am going to double block this, because we can immediately get that Rootwalla back after madnessing the Imp. We untap. Draw another swamp. Play Goldmire Bridge. Ditch Kitchen Imp. Madness. Okay. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Hit them down to 17. Play the Rootwalla. Pass the turn. Okay, they kill Chainer. They attack for 2. That's fine. Take 2, go to 20. Draw a Manticore, which we cannot play. Equip the Imp. Go to combat. Attack for 3 in the air. Take them to 14, we go up to 23. Opponent plays a land. Mental Journey, they draw a bunch of cards. We untap. Draw Flametongue Yearling. Well, if we ever draw another red source, we're in a good place. Go to combat, attack them for 3. We're going to keep holding on to this Terminal Agony, even though it's risking our opponent getting rid of our mountain, turning it into an island. Simply because, like, if they play an Aeromoeba, I want to be able to deal with it. Opponent shrinks the Imp, sacks the Mirror, plays another Mirror. We untap. We draw Vindicate. I think I'm actually going to Vindicate this enchantment. There's probably a lot better targets for Vindicate, but I'm kind of interested in just ending this game relatively soon. If we get our opponent really low, the Manticore can actually finish our opponent off, because it's some direct damage. That may have been my opponent's only way of dealing with that Imp, too. Okay, they get rid of our red mana, but we kind of knew that was coming. They sack the Parcel Mirror to draw. I feel like they should have done that first, if they were going to. I think they're playing sloppy because they're under the pressure of time now, but I'm still going to attempt to play correctly. I have multiple minutes on them on the clock, so like I still have time to think about what I'm going to do before I do it. We draw Cabal Initiate. Alright, go to combat. We'll attack for 3. They have a Tragic Fall. Alright. Not going to attack with the Rootwalla. Play the Initiate. I do need to draw another mountain. Opponent untaps. They play an Aeromoeba. They Madness an Imp immediately. We're at a high life total, so I think this is fine. And then they play a Squirrel. They attack us for 2. We go to 27. We untap and draw an Imp. So, Madness out an Imp. Suit up the Imp. I'm going to attack because my opponent's only way of dealing with that would be flipping the Aeromoeba, which would get rid of their last card in hand, and otherwise we gain 3 life and have an excellent blocker. So opponent can start sacking stuff to the Squirrel that they're not going to use. If we can draw red mana, we can Terminal Agony the Tideshaper to set up for the Manticore. They get a Tizerus Charger. Loathsome Curator that cannot kill the Imp. They sack their own Imp to kill Cabal Initiate. Okay. We untap. Draw a mountain. There it is. Play the mountain. Terminal Agony. We gotta kill Tideshaper here. As weird as that looks. Pass the turn. So now we can play a huge Flametongue Yearling and kill whatever we want. Which is probably going to be either the Curator or the Tizerus Charger. Or, if we draw a good Madness play, we can play the Manticore. Opponent drew Dihada's Ploy, so they cast Dihada's Ploy. They flash it back immediately. They pay a life and draw an extra card. And then they play a Burdened Aerialist. So they go to combat, they attack for 3 in the air, we'll take 3. Untap. We draw Kaleidoscorch. So, play the Manticore. Go to combat. We're actually going to ditch Kaleidoscorch. Ping down the 3/1. And I'm not really willing to trade off this Imp right now. So we're just going to pass. Opponent untaps. They are running out of cards in their deck. They have drawn 12 more cards than us. They play an Ethereum Spinner into a Specimen Collector, which gives them a flying token. Now they're attacking with the Curator and the Charger. Don't really care about that right now. Untap. We draw Cabal Initiate. So I can kick the Flametongue Yearling twice, and that lets me kill Aeromoeba and start swinging in the air again. So I'm going to do that. Opponent can sack it to draw. Okay. So they get 2 1/1 counters on the Squirrel. I'm going to ditch this Cabal Initiate, and we're going to kill Ethereum Spinner, as I cannot have my opponent making an infinite line of flying chump blockers. Go to combat. Attack for 3 in the air. They can chump with a Thopter if they want, but they don't. A lifelink on this Imp is doing... Opponent plays another Aeromoeba, and gets back another Tizerus Charger. Attack in the air for 3, we don't care. Untap. Draw Clattering Augur. So, play Clattering Augur. See if we draw anything better. Rakdos Headliner. Alright. Flashback Kaleidoscorch. Oh, hang on. Okay, flashback Kaleidoscorch on Aeromoeba. Go to combat. Ditch Headliner, because we're not going to have anything to discard to it. Kill Aeromoeba. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I'm somehow less on the clock now than my opponent. I blame Moto's lag. Opponent attacks for 6 in the air. No blocks. We untap. We draw Patchwork Gnomes. So go to combat. Ditch the Gnomes. So this is 2 damage. I can kill a Charger, but they're going to get it back very shortly. So I think what I do is get rid of the Aerialist. Go to combat. Attack for 3 in the air. Opponent is sacrificing a creature. I don't know what they sacrificed, but they don't block, and they didn't sacrifice the Aerialist in response. I think they should have been attacking with more stuff than just the Chargers. No blocks, take 6. We untap and draw Unholy Heat, so go to combat. We're not ditching anything. Attack for 3 with Vigilance and Lifelink. Opponent chumps. Okay, now they're going to sack and draw, so we don't gain life. I don't think they have a way to sacrifice anything else at instant speed, so I actually should have done this in response to the ability activation. I'm going to kill the squirrel now. Oh, shoot! I don't have Delirium. I was under the assumption, I was like, oh yeah, no, we have Delirium, because I thought there was a land in the grave. Opponent draws a card in response. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. Pass the turn. Opponent only has 2 cards left in their deck after this. They untap. They play a land. They play a Ghostlit Drifter. They can just give their whole team flying, and then it doesn't matter. So block here, and I think we still die, because that's 13 damage, and we're going to 12. Yep, so I should have killed the... I should have killed the Thopter just using the Manticore or the Unholy Heat, then attacked, so that my opponent couldn't block and chump, because us not gaining that life is what swung that in my opponent's favor. Oh, man. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, welcome back to round 2, everybody. This is a mulligan. This is a keep. We are going to be putting back Vindicate. Opponent leads on Dark Moss Bridge. We draw a Blazing Rootwalla. So we're going to have a pretty strong aggro hand, I think. Draw Batterbone. Play Cabal Initiate. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Plains into a Knighted Mirror. Alright, pass to their end step. Cast a Rootwalla for free. We untap. We draw Patchwork Gnomes. Play a Mountain. Cast a Kitchen Imp. Go to combat. Swing out. Opponent is going to trade with the Cabal Initiate. Okay. They take 3. We'll play Batterbone. Pass the turn. Persist. Not really capable of reanimating much right now. Opponent plays a land. They play an Esper Sentinel. We untap. We draw a Mountain. Play a Mountain. Go to combat. And we'll attack like this. Opponent no blocks. They take 3. We gain 1. Play Patchwork Gnomes. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Plains. 5 mana, they play a Dray Keeper. Alright. Well, if I draw a land, I'll be pretty happy, because then I can just suit up the flyer with the Batterbone. We untap. We draw Rakdos Headliner. Yeah, play the Headliner. This Persist likely isn't going to be doing very much, so we'll go ahead and attack like this. Okay, opponent blocks with the Dray Keeper. Chumps with a Squirrel. They take 2. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Thornglint Bridge tapped. We untap. Discard Persist. Draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. Suit up the Imp. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Opponent can double block if they want to double block. Okay, opponent is going to destroy Batterbone. It's always good to have a Naturalize. Opponent could have blocked with the Esper Sentinel, and then the Esper Sentinel and the Squirrel and activated Dray Keeper if they wanted to keep Dray Keeper around. I think blocking with Dray Keeper makes more sense if they have any way to recycle creatures out of the grave, which is possible. Opponent plays a Deepwood Denizen and a land. We untap. We draw Harmonic Prodigy. So, go to combat. Swing with the team. Opponent blocks and trades with the Rootwalla. They're going to take 4. Okay, take them to 6. Play the Prodigy. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They attack for 3. No blocks. We take 3. They play a land. It kind of looks like they flooded this game. They play a massive Ren's Run Hydra, which does have reach. We draw a mountain. Alright, pass the turn. We're going to need our Unholy Heat to answer that, I think. Opponent draws a card. It's a pretty good combo. If we don't find our Terminal Agony or Unholy Heat very soon, yeah, our opponent looks like they've stabilized. The lifelink is not great for us, and them getting a card out of the grave is, well, it's card advantage. They're not going to play that creature because they want to be able to draw a card. We draw Kaleidoscorch. So we can Kaleidoscorch once for 2 damage. That is worth it to kill the Denizen. Get a Prowess trigger, though it's not going to matter that much. Opponent is going to draw a card. Okay, then we'll pass. They untap. Opponent is going to Smell Fear. We have no sack outlet. That is unfortunate. They get to proliferate on the Hydra. Then they pass. Second main, they play another Disciple of the Sun. Alright, well, not exactly sure how we come back from this. I mean, we can Kaleidoscorch the Deepwood Denizen again. I guess it's not over yet, because we still have, like, Vindicates and stuff. Cabal Initiate is a 3/3, so it can trade. When it goes to combat, attacks with everybody. Block and double block. Okay, they're going to order to kill the Harmonic Prodigy. We don't need to regenerate the gnomes, and I don't really want to give this lifelink, so we're just going to trade our 2 guys for their 2 guys, and they're left with a 7/7. Opponent plays an Orchard Strider, gets some food. Okay, we need to draw Terminal Agony. Flametongue Yearling. I can kick that twice, which lets me kill the Strider, but we're taking a hit from this Hydra for a turn. Opponent sacks a food. Pass the turn. They go to combat. They hit us for 7. No blocks. They play a Deepwood Denizen, and they play a Knighted Mirror. We untap and draw Rakdos Headliner. We've got to kill the thing that draws cards. Like, the mirror is bad, and I'm going to have to chump regardless. They gain life, untap, they go to combat, swing out. So block here, block here. I don't think going to 1 is right. So ditch Headliner, we're going to regenerate. Opponent has another Knighted Mirror. We untap. Okay. And now it's game. I'm glad I saw that one out and didn't concede early. We got close, but our opponent was able to stabilize. Do we have anything we want to bring in for this matchup? World Weary might be worth it. I don't think the Canticle is, and I don't think Breathless Night is either. Let's just run it back. Alright. I cannot keep this. It's very close. If we had red mana, I'd say yes. I can keep this, though. Question is, what am I putting back? I think it's Terminal Agony. I need all 3 of my colors of mana for the, like, Kaleidoscorch hand to work. I have 2 removal spells already, and Kaleidoscorch has Flashback, which will do up to 3 damage. Missing the hard removal will... I mean, it will suck if my opponent plays like a big Hydra again. Opponent untaps, plays a Forest. Suspends a Rift Sower. We untap, draw a Mountain. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Rift Sower ticking down. Alright. Rift Sower ticks down. They play a Plains, they play a Mouser. And they pass. I'm going to try and give that the Unholy Heat. We untap, draw a Swamp. Play a Mountain, pass the turn. Might have to hardcast this Kitchen Imp, and that's a shame. Opponent untaps. Rift Sower coming off Suspend. Opponent hits us for 1. Then plays a Scurry Oak. We draw Kitchen Imp. Kaleidoscorch the Oak. Pass the turn. Kind of hoping for a good discard outlet. Opponent plays a Dray Keeper. We untap. Draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. Play Kitchen Imp. Go to combat. Hit them for 2. Pass to our opponent. I think we've drawn only lands, right? No, because we drew a Kitchen Imp. That is a bit unfortunate. Opponent attacks for a lot. We go to 14. They play a Deepwood Denizen. They play a tap land. We untap. Draw Rakdos Headliner. Play a Mountain. So that Deepwood Denizen's going to draw them cards. Draykeeper gives them menace. Lets them swing for a lot more damage. So they can pay 4 mana for 2 extra damage. They'd be hitting us for 7, taking us to 7. I think I've got to try and kill this Deepwood Denizen. And I'll stay back on defense. I'm either blocking Rift Sower, or I'm forcing my opponent to activate Menace to swing in for damage. Opponent untaps. They play a land. They attack for a lot. I'm going to block the Draykeeper. They activate Draykeeper, we take 5 and go to 9. Then they have the break ties. That's pretty good. It broke that tie for sure. I can play out both my cards. The problem is if I do that, I have nothing to discard the Headliner. So, play Headliner, pass the turn. They have Piercing Rays. Pretty sure that's just game. They can attack, they can activate. So we take 7 and go to 2. They play a tap land. Last card in hand is a Piercing Rays. So we ditch Kitchen Imp. Madness. We draw Manticore. So I can kill a squirrel. They can tap a guy. And then activate. And whether or not we block the 3/3 or we block the 2/1, we still die to the other. Unfortunate. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, welcome back to round 3. And, I think this is an okay hand to keep on the draw. We can start with some early aggression off of the Rootwalla, even though we're not madnessing it. Okay, I don't mind Kaleidos Scorch, but I do want to draw black mana. Okay, opponent starts Plains, Plains. We draw Goldmire Bridge. Play the bridge. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent, Prismatic Endings to kill the 1/1. We play Patchwork Gnomes, pass the turn. I think that was an emergency thing because they did not draw their 3rd land. Opponent scoops. Alright, that was a quick game. Run it back. This is a mulligan. This is very, very close to playable, but I think we got a mulligan again. Alright. We're going to put back I think Revolutionist and a Mountain. We're going to try it like this. Play a Mountain, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp. We draw Chainer. Play Rakdos Headliner. Hit our opponent for 3. Unfortunately, we have nothing to Madness off of Headliner. Opponent plays a Tyzerus Charger. We'll discard Swamp. We draw the Manticore. Play Batterbone. Living Weapon, pass the turn. Opponent plays a land. Alright, we untap. We draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. And... Opponent put a few things that are worth reanimating into the grave. I think we play Chainer this turn, and I don't think we attack. Pass the turn. Opponent Tragic Falls, Chainer, then plays a Cabal Initiate. We untap, we draw Headliner, play the Manticore, go to combat, discard Headliner, kill Initiate. Opponent discards a card. They discarded Prophetic Titan. Okay, let's pass. If we draw a land next turn, I will probably just equip Rakdos Headliner with Batterbone. We untap. Draw Cabal Initiate. Alright, go to combat. No discards. Swing out. Opponent trades. Play the Initiate. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps and draws. They draw a card and lose a life off of Clattering Augur. They Prismatic Ending Batterbone. That's actually quite bad. We take 3. They gain 3. Untap. We draw Kitchen Imp. So, go to combat. Discard Kitchen Imp. 1 damage to Clattering Augur. Not that Clattering Augur can block, but putting it in the grave forces our opponent to pay more mana to get it out. Hit our opponent for a lot. They untap. They play a land. They have a Glorious Enforcer, so we basically need to draw a Terminal Agony right now. They attack us for 3. We untap. We draw Guiltblade Prowler. Play the Prowler. Pass the turn. Opponent draws a Breathless Knight. They attack us for 5 in the air. We take 5. They gain 5. They play a land. They are now Hellbent. Okay, so they're getting back Tizerus Charger. I was like, what are they doing? They're not getting back Clattering Augur. Okay, and it enters with a 1/1 counter. Putting a counter on the Breathless Knight. We untap. We draw a Mountain. I can ping something for 1. I don't want to ditch for lifelink. But I'm gonna... We draw Flametongue Yearling, which wouldn't have really helped anyway. So, okay. On game 3. Yeah, not gonna make any adjustments. Okay, we're on the play for round 3. The hand's not amazing, but I think we gotta keep it. So lead on a Mountain. Opponent plays a Plains. We draw Rakdos Headliner, which is a much better play this turn. And go to combat, hit them for 3. If they don't Prismatic Ending or remove it, we get 2 Madness Kitchen Imp on our upkeep. Okay, so Echo, discard the Imp, Madness, we draw another Imp, play a Mountain, go to combat, attack for 5, opponent Tragic Falls to kill the 3/3, okay. We hit them for 2, play Batterbone, Living Weapon, pass the turn. Opponent plays a land, plays a Tizerus Charger. We untap and draw Goldmire Bridge. So play a Mountain. We're going to multi-kick this turn, just so that we have a larger creature on board. Kill the Charger. Go to combat. Attack for 3. It does mean that unless we draw an untapped land, we're not like re-equipping Batterbone or anything next turn, but it gives us a better creature to re-equip Batterbone to. They Piercing Rays to take care of Kitchen Imp. We untap, draw a Mountain, play Goldmire Bridge, hardcast the old 4-mana 2/2 with haste, go to combat, attack for 6. Opponent goes to 6, they untap, and scoop. They have no further plays. Well, we ended on a win. I thought that deck was going to do better than it did. Definitely made some misplays this league. I'm not used to playing the Madness deck, so I mean, it's a little bit understandable, but I definitely could stand to play a little bit better than I did today. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And remember, you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few times have been earlier than that. So really anytime Wednesday afternoon to evening. You know, if you can't make the streams, but you want to hang out with the cool people that you see in the stream VODs on Fridays, you can feel free to join the Discord. Links in the description below. We have a lot of fun there. A lot of deck brewing and stuff goes on, and it's a good time. But you're all wonderful human beings. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of August. You guys are wonderful, and I really appreciate your support. It's been helping me make a lot of good content. If you want your name to show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below if you want to support this channel. Thank you so much.